All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So it's been a while since I've covered HUBC. This came in the viewer requests today, and yeah, I actually think it's well worth looking at. So I know I'm normally zoomed out a little bit more than I'm used to, but I hope you see what I see before I'm going to talk about it. A lot of lines. I'm probably going to delete most of those before we get going too, though, but interesting here. TRKA. So I know I've covered TRKA in the last couple days, if not weeks at least, and man, it's been close, it's been close, it's been close, it's been close. It just hasn't been able to do it. And you always hear me talk about confirmation. This is a really good example of why I talk about confirmation with TRKA. And then mullen, honestly, a lot of the same kind of comments, right? Like, it's been so close to breaking that 20 moving average for, I mean, weeks now, I think. And if I'm not mistaken, like, I don't think it did it today either. So again, I love my moving averages. I really do. You know what I mean? So just, you know, I hope you're loving them too. But before we go any further, what are we going to do today? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. Excuse me, there are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to the channel, share this thing on the internet, comment good or bad. Hey, anything you can do really does help me out with these YouTube algorithms. But for real, just being here and giving me your time is super appreciated, all right? So, yeah, let me delete these lines. There's definitely a lot of lines here. And like I said, I have not covered HUBC in a really long time. So, look, a few things. And you know I'm not here to talk about fundamentals at all, right? But, hey, cybersecurity, sorry, that's what I was trying to. Cybersecurity is a really important thing, all right? Just about everything we do is online, let alone like all the money in the world at this point is online, unless you've got it under your mattress or something, right? So cybersecurity is incredibly important, and you know I like a good sector. I don't really know the big players here. I know McAfee, right, just kind of from the dude, but you know, I don't know who owns market share in cybersecurity. I don't know where Hub cybersecurity sits in that world, right? But yeah, end of the day, I think not a lot of people can argue, you know, this is an important thing, right? Again, I have no idea what they do, how they do it, if they have enough money and all that sort of nonsense, right? But that said, man, there's been a lot of bad happening here, okay? If you watch my videos, you know it. Bad things happen under the 8 and the 20. And I mean, this is basically a D-SPAC that went wrong, right? Whenever you see that kind of like hard horizontal at 10, D-SPAC should be on your mind, right? So, we lose it, we kind of come back, just can't get over the 20, kind of get back, can't get over the 8, and that becomes the game, right? When these two lines are not a stock's friend, it's almost impossible to get over the 8 and the 20. And we've been here since the beginning of the year, but now look what's happening, okay? So this is pretty much, I mean, I would even say this is the prettiest break over the 200. I mean, it's over the 20, let alone like this was actually the only other one from it. You know what I mean? So yesterday was a really important day. Today is not a confirmation, all right? I always say a doji doesn't count because what does this mean, right? Some people thought it was going to go up. Some people thought it was going to go down. They basically said, you know what? We're just going to open and close right at the same place, give or take, right? So this is uncertainty, and tomorrow should confirm it, okay? And look, let's be honest. We're sitting in a really nice red, green, red. So there's a lot of reason to believe that this thing would want to come to 51 cents, all right? And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but that's actually more than a 10% swing right there, okay? RSI is actually really healthy. MACD kind of has this little divergence thing going. It's not quite zero, but it's really close to zero, right? Just wish volume was a little bit better. Like, the amount of interest on this stock has plummeted. For a while, we were averaging 8 million shares. Now we're like struggling to hold a 1 million average, right? So we have dropped so much in terms of just general like interest and awareness. But you know, over at least the last 2 weeks, it seems like the greens are outweighing the reds in terms of volume, right? So more people are buying and more people are holding. We're starting to see the little bit of up. And look, I talk about this, right? You generally go down, you generally go horizontal, and either you go up or you go back down. We've seen it go horizontal and down. We've seen it go horizontal and down, right? So we're seeing a little bit of a horizontal up, but again, history does repeat itself with stocks, right? Like that's why we're doing technical analysis, right? This is not roulette where the ball doesn't remember where it lands, right? Like these prices matter. I draw my lines right here because yeah, we were at this price for a while. This 59 is going to be hard. Yeah, we've been at this price for a while. I think this thing right here is going to be a little bit hard, right? I almost drew it here, but I ended up going with this one, right? But look, end of the day, if we can break the 50 moving average, that's how these things work, right? Break the 8, go to the 20, break the 20, go to the 50. Break the 50, go to the 100 is a big move. It's 52 all the way up to like 90. You're almost doubling, right? You're almost going from 50 to $1. So that's like a huge move if it happens, right? That said, don't underestimate the 50 because we've literally not touched it this entire time, right? With the 20, hey, we've touched it. Hey, we've touched it, right? We just failed it a bunch of times every time we touch. We literally have never touched the 50. All right, so that's how hard a line that one is. But again, run from here to the 50 is a decent double digit. It's roughly 10%, right? So, you know, things to consider. Again, let's see what can happen. What's the weekly look like? Interesting weekly here. Interesting weekly because again, we've done nothing but be under the 8. Tomorrow's the last day, right? Tomorrow is when the weekly closes. Tomorrow has to close at 48 cents. All right. 48 cents is the bare minimum here. It's not quite what we need. Like 52 would be fantastic. 48 is the bare minimum for this stock for me to actually like it going into next week. I think that's a really good place to end this on. But again, get over the 8 on the weekly. Hey, maybe you'll have me believing we'll try to go to the 20, if not maybe this 59, right? But and then again, give me that 52 cents. I'll be a little bit more excited on the weekly. And yeah, I might be having some 100 MA dreams, if not, you know, at least this 60-cent line. So HUBC, I'm actually glad this came back on the radar. It's been very much off the radar for a reason, right? But yeah, I think this is a good place to look at it again, okay? So look, TRKA, in a lot of ways, TRKA did what HUBC just did. We have not been looking here for a while. All right. The reverse split was probably the last time I was consistently looking at the stock. Once it's reverse split, I mean, yeah, the last month has been bad, right? I mean, what ends up happening is just kind of standard stuff. You fall really far from the 8, you come up to the 8. You fall far from the 8, you come to the 8. You fall far from the 8, you come up to the 8, right? So what has been happening here, though, is what looks like a belief that, hey, maybe we're about to get over the 8 and the 20. All right. And yeah, you can see it. The 20 has done a pretty decent job of holding this whole thing, right? But yeah, we couldn't confirm the breakout, right? And man, the one thing that also just ends up sucking is this was going to be my entry line, right? Because, you know, you go from here all the way up to the 50. Hey, that's actually a really decent move, right? The longer and longer it took, the less juice there is to squeeze there, right? So, you know, there's a part of me that wants to lower the line all the way to here, to this 253. The real problem becomes, look, I normally call a cluster 3 lines, right? 2 isn't necessarily a cluster, but like, you know, I'm just, I don't know. I think I need more to believe. And what ends up actually sucking is I think it now makes it almost better to enter at 3, right? I know going from 240 to 3 is actually a pretty decent percent. Really, I would rather get in around 3 and trade it all the way up to 4 something. That's actually really good profit right there. And that's sitting in a red, you know, green. And look, the next horizontal is basically right here. I'm going to delete that because I'll leave it. Why not? These lines are going to come down. But I think I would rather now go from the 3 up to, you know, for something than kind of go for this breakout, you know? And it sucks. It really does, right? I don't think the answer is lowering the line, because I think you're going to get a bunch of false alerts at 253, 254, even 256, you know? I think it has to be well over 260, actually. What's the bottom of this guy? 265. Yeah, maybe 265 would be the lowest. But again, I just think the juice isn't there anymore to squeeze. Let's, again, I'm a little more conservative, right? I think you've kind of caught that, right? I also have a full-time job. It's not like I can be here in front of the mouse and like click, move, click, move, click, move, and I'm like in complete control. Like I've got meetings I can't go away from, right? So that's where I always kind of, you know, try to find the easier, safer windows, right? And again, there's no such thing as safer in trading, right? This is online gambling, baby. It is what it is, right? But yeah, again, I think wait for the 50 moving average to break is the actual right decision here. Again, trying to get over the 8 moving average on the weekly. It's not an easy thing to do, especially when you look at what this thing has done. It basically has lived under the 8 moving average on the weekly, right? Like couple moments, you know, decent one run here. But, you know, it's history repeats itself a lot in the stock market until the stock gives you a reason to believe it's not going to repeat itself. All right. And I really hope you do believe that. Okay. So let's come into Mullen. And again, I think the same kind of comments echo. Look, this thing has been on the verge of breaking the 20 moving average for a really long time. All right. And there was a point where I was talking about a 26-cent money line, basically just get me over this little insignificant candle. Let me go red, all the way to here. I mean, at this point, you can see it. The 50 moving average isn't that far from that 26. It still would have been a decent return, but same things. The longer it takes for a move to go, the lower and lower the profit really can be. So I tried moving my entry line a little bit. We did lower it to 17. Even after lowering it to 17, we never got even a fake wick, right? Like we are now seemingly going under the 8 and the 20. The 8 is actually sharp. It's diverging the wrong way. It's going away from this line and seemingly wants to head down. All right. Are we below 50% candle? Yeah, I mean, I think it's really easy to say we are. We're sitting right there, right? Like we're basically at like 2/3 candle dead. So again, lose this line and you're going back into all-time lows with Mullen. Bad things happen under the 8 and the 20, and I've been saying this for a while. This was an issue well before, the reverse split happened. Reverse split happens when we were already well below the 8 and the 20 and still struggling with them. But even before that, you can see it just like, I mean, aside from this pop and this was a nice one. This one at least lasted a couple months. I mean, just well under pop, the one good one, you know what I mean? So it's hard. We're not here to say to ourselves, this is a 12-cent stock, they're making cars, how can I not keep buying it now? Like, look, if you're for real gonna be long and strong and like you're gonna buy this and, you know, and hold for the next 5 years, dude, you shouldn't be watching these videos. You know what I mean? Like, if you can actually buy and ignore everything, hey, more power to you. I can't do that. I'm a little bit of a crackhead. I love moving my money, right? Like, it's cool, it's fun, it's what I do, you know? But it's bad things happen under these are not lines I make up and draw. Like these are computer generated based on numbers that I can't control. I obviously draw these white lines and knock on wood, I'm pretty good at it. But yeah, end of the day, there are no emotions in these lines. You know what I mean? Like this line doesn't care what the book value of this stock is or what the, you know, fundamentals say or like, you know, and again, no one's talking about that stock buyback anymore, right? Like what sounded like a cool thing feels like happened 3 years ago, right? Like there's an Eddie Murphy joke. What have you done for me lately? You know what I mean? Like, what have you done for me lately? Honestly, you know what this thing keeps doing for me? I still fear that we're in the range where they made the last reverse split. And if they did the last reverse split there, why wouldn't they do it again? Look, I don't know NASDAQ compliance rules. Again, I'm not here pretending to be like some stock guru that knows everything, right? Like, please, that's not my game. But like, there are NASDAQ delisting rules that make companies have to do it, right? Like, no one wants this to become MULNQ. We just saw it happen with BBBYQ. It happened with DBDQQ. Like, no one wants this to become an over-the-counter stock. That's death. It really is. But, you know, reverse split after reverse split also is. And man, no good will happen until this thing gets over the 20 moving average. Again, this is not roulette. We're not playing with a ball that doesn't remember where it landed on the last wheel, right? Like, the price remembers, history remembers, and history repeats itself until the stock makes me believe it has a new trajectory, a new sustained something. This thing's sustaining downtrend, all right? And you can't underestimate the truth of that. So, hey, just my thoughts and opinions. You know I appreciate you all so, so much. Let me know what you think. Thank you, thank you.